it's amazing how God works and just how the universe works. So I have to take a deep breath. So after last D, I was here just with my husband. We try to come to one D, just us, so we can actually listen. A lot of the time we have our kids. So after the last D, we were going to our friend's cottage. They had rented a place. And so it's in Sauble Beach, which is about 2 hours from our house in Elmira. And it was one of those crazy weekends with children. My son was doing his testing for his red belt for Taekwondo. We had to split courses. My husband took him up later. We met at the beach. We decided that weekend that we were going to camp because we didn't really want to camp, but the kids want to camp. So we could camp at our friend's cottage in the backyard. And of course, like camping can go sometimes, it was awful. No one slept till after 10. We have a 3-year-old, so he was exhausted. It rained that night. It was people partying because it's a big beach town. And so my husband, on the way home, because we were ready to go at like 6 a.m., so the tent is packed, we're ready to go. He decides to take the kids, and I get a lone drive by myself, which doesn't happen very often. And I was listening to Wake Up Humans. And so on that podcast, it was the wrap-up after last D. So it was Steve, it was Eddie, it was Drew, and it was Brian talking about the last D, and they were saying something about, they're going to switch things up. Like, they're going to have the 9 a.m. DU, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then they said something about it was the easiest to figure out the lineup that they ever had. And I'm like, that's interesting. And then there was just like a little something. I was like, I wonder. I'm like, no, that can't be right. So you just jam it down, right? And so that week, I get a Facebook message from Kat. And I honestly thought she got hacked. So I slammed my computer down because I'm like, there's no way I'm getting a message from Kat. And so after I realized, if she was getting hacked, I probably should help her. So I opened my computer again, and she was asking me to speak. And I was really surprised by this. I was not expecting that in one bit. So I read through the message, I'm like, okay, and then I go talk to my daughter, and I'm like, I don't know. She's like, Mom, you just gotta trust. If they're asking you, you should do it. I'm like, okay, yeah, so we're gonna do this. So it's funny how that all played out. So for anyone that doesn't know me, Dr. Sarah Green, I first am a wife to my husband, Dr. Tom Green, who's also a chiropractor. Second, I'm a mother to 3 beautiful children that are here today, and we're going to see how that goes, right, Owen? Yeah, you're going to do a great job, I can tell. Last year, I also became a homeschool mom. So it was on my heart since we had Lila, that would have been 2016, that one day I'd like to homeschool, but then my husband we went out for dinner, and he said, I think we should do this. So I was like, okay, we're starting. So we started that last September. This is our 2nd year, and it's been phenomenal. I love it. And third, I am a family chiropractor. And I say this in a specific order because when I was in school, I had someone who was a mentor to me, and she was talking to me about her roles. And what she always said to me is, I am a chiropractor first. And I remember thinking, that's amazing. But then it really hit me because although I love her, she's now divorced. Her kids don't talk to her the same. She doesn't have the same relationship that she used to have. And it's because for her it was chiropractic, it was family, and then it was her husband. And so I don't get to have all of that unless I'm a wife and a mother. Then I get to have this amazing practice that I have. So I say it for that reason. I think it's really important to put that in the back of your mind too. So I would also say I'm a DE chiropractor. I've been coming here since 2014. Love it. It's an amazing place. And so in 2014 was our first time. I was a student at the time, so was my husband. I cried my entire time. Just cried for 4 days. Had no idea why until retrospect, looking back, you realize, I cried because it was the first time I heard truth. And so when truth hits you, it makes you cry, right? It really got me. And so my whole life changed from that moment on. It's never been the same, and I'm so grateful for it. This is in 2019. So this was, we had decided that year we're going to do 4 in a row. So from Canada, it's not always the easiest to get here, but we were going to do 4 in a row. This was our third, October of 2019. Paula pulled us up to do Parade of Stars. This was the first time I talked, and thankfully had my husband, because it's not something always the most comfortable for me. And so we started to just discuss our life, but this was also the meeting that it landed on my heart, that it was my time to run in our regulatory body in Ontario. So what that means is getting a board position for the Regulatory College, which is the College of Chiropractors of Ontario. I ran a really amazing race, I'll say it. I called over 1,000 people, and I beat the guy that everyone said I never would. I had people call me like, yeah, this is going to be a good learning experience for you. I'm like, I'm going to win. And I did. So that was decided here. And so to be able to do that meant a big change for our family, of course. And thankfully, because of my husband, he supports me in that, and I am so grateful for that. So fast track, that was 2020. Craziest time to be on a regulatory body, especially in Canada, if you know anything about that, and I'll talk a little bit about it as well. But I also had full confidence in my board and became the first female president ever, which was a really big accomplishment. And I did that for 2 years, full confidence of everyone, which was surprising because it's always been a contentious board. And we've done some pretty amazing things. So I also chair the complaints committee. I've been doing that for 5 of 6 years on my board, which means every single complaint about every single chiropractor, I get to read, I get to see it all. So I get to see the inner workings of a lot of people's practices because of it. So I say all this is, what the heck am I going to talk about? So when Kat asked me, she's like, so what are you teaching? I'm like, I don't know, I'm not teaching anything. Well, what are you an expert at? And it's funny, expert is a funny word for me because I'm like, I always want to get better. So am I an expert at anything? Because I could always be better. But something that I do know something about is I'm going to talk today about having a referral-based practice, which is a little bit different because in this world, it's always about social media and outside influence and external marketing. And we really do everything from inside. We don't do a lot of external stuff. Questions that are asked of me is, how do you successfully practice with your husband? We've been doing this now 11 years, thankfully, many more to come. And something I'd say I'm pretty good at is organizing our life. As you can see, I wear a lot of different hats, so being able to do all of that, we're going to talk about that. So that's my nice fancy title, doesn't really matter. So this is our office, a place that I love and cherish. So we have 4 adjusting rooms. We have a beautiful space that I can easily sit like 25 people in for a talk, which we used to do a lot of. This is our testimonial wall, so just people speaking about the amazing things that have happened while under care. We have this wall at the back that we change every single month. So that's all the birthdays of the month, a quote of the week, an article of the week, and our newsletter always is up there. So it's always changing. And here, this is our consult room, which I love. I like design. That's my other fun hobby on the side. We just put an x-ray last year. That was a big change for us, but love having it on site now. And then our exam room here too. So this is our amazing team, because you can't do anything without an awesome team. Gail, the one on the left, she's been with us. She was our very first hire out of school. Alyssa was our second hire. So we've had these ladies with us 10, 11 years. And Kathy's been with us for 3. And honestly, we couldn't do it. Like, we're just so grateful for these women that show up for us, that care so much about what we do, and they care about our people just as much as we do. These are some of the awesome people we get to serve, and I'm just so grateful. This gentleman right here, this is Dr. Bruce Klanknick. He is who we bought the practice from, in practice for 54 years. Incredible, like 54 years. So that was like our number one mentor. I'm like, for everyone who wants these big numbers and doing all this stuff in practice, I'm like, I want to be able to practice for 54 years. Like, that's the goal, and still have my body and still be able to have fun and love practice. So he is amazing. Still walks 5 kilometers every single day. And he's like, what, 80, 90? 90 now? So incredible. So just some stats you'll learn quickly. I like numbers. This is kind of our numbers. And do you ever actually look at that? Like, who are you serving? Because we can have those ideas of like, I'm seeing like so many kids or whatever. So go to the actual data. This is what it is. For us, 34% of our practice is under 19. Would I like to be more? Of course. But they also get older. And then they stay with us. But the big thing for us is families. We want to see families. So for Tom and I, Can-I is something that like really sticks to us. Constant and never-ending improvement. Never stop learning. So we are obsessed with that. That is an obsession, for sure. For us, we see about 1,200 patients a month. Now, for us, practice density, and I don't know if that's a number that people actually talk about, but practice density is the most important thing to us. That's how many people are we serving, not how many visits are we seeing, because it's about impact, not about numbers. So that's really important to us. We focus more on, we want people to stay with us for a lifetime. It's not about generating new patients all the time. Because if you have to have 1 million new patients, where are they going? Who's taking care of them? So we want them to stay with us for their life. We want them to bring their kids. I would love if, and we do have it in our community, that people will go to another chiropractor. And I always say, like, great, I'm glad you're getting checked. That's awesome. But they'll still bring us their kids, which is a very interesting thing to me. Because I would never bring my child to someone that I didn't trust for myself. But it happens all the time. And we branded ourselves that way, so they know, like, we got your kids. So sometimes I'll see kids till 1, and then they'll go to another chiropractor. I'm like, okay, at least I got a year, which is pretty amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. All right, let me talk a little bit about our town, because you probably have no idea where Elmira, Ontario is. So not joking, this is from town. 50% of our practice is Mennonites. I have hitching posts. Never in my life did I think I would have a hitching post for your horse and buggy, but every day I do. And quite honestly, these people love chiropractic. They love the message that we have, and we're so grateful for it. And so we have everything from horse and buggy, and if you know anything about the Mennonite culture, there's a lot of different ways of doing it. So there is the steel wheels, there's the rubber wheel Mennonites, there's the black car Mennonites, it's all that. So it's a pretty interesting community. The funny thing is, we did not know a soul when we moved there. So Elmira found us, which is a very interesting thing. And I'm so thankful we came to DE in 2014 because we were struggling trying to figure out where to set up. And we listened to Dr. Alan Davis. And you never know in this room like what's going to hit you, what's going to land and stay with you. But that was one of those talks where he was talking about how he had moved multiple times and created a new practice each time. In our head, it's like, well, we got to find the place that we're going to stay forever. And the second he said that, I was like, oh, okay, this can be right for us right now, and if it's not later, that's okay, we can change. So we ended up in Elmira because it was the best decision for us at the time. It's a big family-based area, lots of families, lots of parks, new swimming pool, like new skate park, all of that. So that's why we ended up there, and we threw ourselves into practice. Our first practice was 800 square feet. We had 2 rooms, and we did what we could with that because we were broke students. Imagine we have 2 student loans, and we didn't have family helping us. That was us doing it ourselves. So we got married in 2015. So we started practice in 2014, got married in 2015, and then little Lila was born in 2016 because I was pregnant the day after our wedding. So we didn't waste any time. So by 2016, we have Lila. So you can imagine, like, we're throwing ourselves in practice. We're trying to do all this stuff, but it's busy. In 2017, we realized we outgrew our space. So this was what our office used to look like. And we did a full build-out in 2017. And then we moved. And then Dylan was born in 2018 in February. So we moved our office and our house in 3 weeks, because if we're going to do anything, we're going to do it crazy. That's just how it is. Just throw yourself at it. So 2018, now we're a family of 4, and obviously life is getting pretty crazy. So the first 5 years of practice, we did what we were told to do, and we trusted our mentors, and so we just ran. this is the stuff we focused on. So health talks and series, and I swear we were speaking or creating talks or whatever, constantly. Social media, because that's what you have to do to start a practice, right? You got to do social media. That's what we were told. Join the clubs. We learned how to curl, because why not? We don't know what else to do. We're young. Let's figure it out. So, volunteer, get back to your community. So I decided to do my first board work, and I was on the Elmira Maple Syrup Festival. We did that. I was on fundraising. I'm not good at this, but whatever. You go, you meet people. YouTube videos. My husband has done so many videos over the years, so he spent a lot of time doing that. I thought I'd have a great idea and create a mom market. So I had 30 vendors, and we brought all these small businesses together, and we had this huge event. I don't even really like markets that much. I don't know, but I just try. I just keep trying stuff. And lots of advertising, writing in the paper. We did tons of Google reviews on all of that stuff. And then we just did a ton of seminars. So we did our whole ICPA certification, and we were always the people that went to everything. But we always went to Pure and Powerful, and we always went here. And then we did everything else on top of it. And the end of it is we just hustled. That's the end, we just never stopped working. But then 2020 hit. And all of this is basically you just can't do it in Canada. We were locked down. And because we were rebels and not following the rules, we couldn't leave. So some people don't really understand that we couldn't actually even come to DE. We weren't allowed to come here. So we watched online, but we were locked out. And it wasn't because we didn't want to. It's because we couldn't. So we have 2 kids. We're trying to figure out how do we do this? How do we keep growing our practice? We're in a small community. We can't go do a bunch of these things that we used to do. We have no real extra time either. Screenings, well, there might be 2 a year, maybe. So it wasn't really a great way to grow practice. Local events and stuff, it just wasn't the same. Also, our team, sure, we could bring on another chiropractor, but I don't have time to train someone so that they can do a good job. I don't want to just take someone for money. You're going to be a part of my team. We're going to work together. We're going to train you and teach you. And we just couldn't do it. Satellite clinics, yeah, for sure, we could do that, but I'll never see my family again. So is that an option that I wanted to take? Google reviews, sure, great, but you know what? It gets really annoying after a while to constantly ask for Google reviews. It's just not fun anymore. And then how about social media? For sure, it has a place, and it has been so successful for people who love it, but I hate it. I really don't enjoy it. There's never a time that I'm I can't wait to post. Some people are amazing, and that's so great. I love that for other people. Yeah, I love it. Now, the other thing is with our regulatory body, especially at the time, you weren't allowed to talk about anything. So I got complaints for saying immune system. I got a complaint because I said in a blog that that vaccines affect the T2 response, which is a fact, but that was enough to give me a complaint. If you said ADHD, autism, colic, anything, complaint. So now I can't even talk about anything. What am I supposed to talk about on social media? This is just not fun, and I don't want to be inauthentic either. So yes, we could hire someone, but at the same time, I'm trying to get on the regulatory body, and they're watching me very, very, very closely. So what did we do? It was time to get really clear. What mattered to us? So we sat down. It was about our relationship, our family, and our kids' education, our community and purpose, and then also protecting chiropractic. So everything became about this, nothing else. And for us, it's really about the 80-20 rule. So what's that 20%? And for us, it's taking excellent care of the people that are in our space. We can't worry about everything else and doing all these things that we used to do, but we can really focus on that. So it meant stopping some big things. And by that, I mean, we really, I'm off social media. I creep a little. I won't lie. I look at stuff, but I don't post anything. We haven't done a talk in a long time. I haven't spoken on stage in a very long time. I speak at board meetings. No one watches that. It's not the same, other than the 5 detractors that have something to say, but whatever, that's fine. I'm used to that. So we stopped all that extra stuff, and we just really focused what can we do for people and educational work. That's what we were going to focus on. It sounds like it's breaking up there. What happened? So, because I like numbers, 5 to 10% increase in collections. Practice is fun. I am not drained by practice at all. The most energizing part of my day is going to work. Going home is way more difficult. So less time wasted. I don't feel like I'm running around in circles all the time, which is amazing. More present with my family. We work 4 days a week and 1 Saturday a month. So I have at least 3 days. Well, really, I have 4. My husband works Tuesdays. I only work 3. And we take 6 weeks of vacation because that's important to us. Now, I know in this room sometimes it's like, you got to work all the time. Like, you got to serve people, and that's great. But again, my goal is I want to work for 50 years. And so if I have that goal and I'm burying myself right now, how am I going to do that? So that's why you got to make sure it's aligned with your goals, not someone else's. And getting clear for you is so, so important. So what do? I have a whole list, and I'm going to go through all of it, and we'll see how this turns out. So day 0 to 3, for us, first phone call. CA picks up the phone. Is this call for you or your family? Right from the beginning. Do you ask that question? Or do you just assume it's for that one person? How do you hear about us? Right? So that is in their script. They ask that every single time. Our day 1 process, when they come in, they fill out their paperwork, we ask how they were referred. If it is a current patient, we have kind of like a referral gift system. So we will send that patient like a coffee, a card for a coffee and a thank you card, like thank you for trusting us with this person. So not that we're asking for referrals, but we're just grateful for them, right? So what's the intention in the process is not to get more, but it's to thank. Day 2, so I don't actually have to do a lot of day 2. I have some one-on-one. My husband does all of our report night. So for us, after you go through day 1, that is all the history and an examination. Day 2 is our report. So that's where Tom pours into them about chiropractic, teaches them what it looks like in our office, and then at that time, we give people the option that if they choose that night, they can refer up to 10 people for free. So they will get a free examination from us. So it's our way to give back to their families as well. And a lot of people choose to do that. And then day 3, we always follow up on those that were booked, okay? Other things we do, the article of the week. So yes, I still write an article of the week every single week on colored paper every week. And sometimes we wonder why, you wonder if it even matters. But I think it's the intention, right? And then I have people come in and they go over, they pick out every color as they're leaving. So I know they're getting some information from this. We also do a monthly blog just to keep our website up to date. And then we also make that a paper copy because, like I said, we have a big Mennonite practice. They don't have emails. They don't have the internet. So we have to make sure it is in printed form as well. Other things we do. So our Patient Appreciation Day, something that we absolutely love. Look, the last one we did, you can see these pictures on the left, we had 400 people for dinner at our office. Why not? Some bouncy castles. The kids were like, I don't need a birthday party, just do this. I'm like, perfect. This can be our birthday party, awesome. But it was just a fun night. Like, people did not want to leave. And that's what you want when you're building community. A really interesting thing is we send out Christmas cards. Like, it's super simple. It doesn't take anything. Now, actually, I've just delegated my staff do most of it. I just create it. The amount of people that come up to us and say, thank you for saying Merry Christmas. So simple. But for them, it's amazing. You know what they do? They put that picture up on their fridge with all of their family members. And you are part of their family. I've gone to patients' houses, and we'll get out their photo albums and take out our Christmas card. It's in their photo album with the rest of their kids. So that's how they think of us. But it's super simple. But it's huge impact too. Other things we do at our office. So I said about our board here. I really do think patients want to see in your space, and this is just my opinion, doesn't have to be yours, but they want to see that we care about it. So we're always tweaking just a little bit. We change it a little bit. Every season I change new pillows, I put up new pictures, but it's just showing intention and care. We love this space, and you will love it too because it feels like home. So we always wanted our waiting room to be like your living room, right? So we also, like I said before, we change this board constantly. We do some simple things, like for Mother's Day, we always buy flowers, give every single mother a flower. For Father's Day, it's funny because my husband's like, fathers don't care. That's what he says every year. I'm like, what would you like? He's like, I don't care. Like, you're not helping me. So we've tried different things. Recently, we just actually get like sugar cookies made, individual sugar cookies for each person, and they can take that home. We've got done meat sticks, stuff like that to say like, we love and appreciate you, right? So it's those simple things. It doesn't need to be complicated. And honestly, my staff are doing most of it, so it saves time for me. So just some things to think about with that. Okay, so some baby assessments. So for every single pregnant woman in our practice, we give them this card, along with, we call it like a baby box. So this card, and we also give them our personal cell phone number. So what this means is that when they want us, call us. I will come to your house. I will see you. I will see your baby. I'll see your whole family. I don't care. I bring my table. I don't care what time it is. Like, I will always make time for this. So it happens all the time. And honestly, this is most of our new patients, our new babies that are already in families that are with us, which is incredible. And that is the biggest blessing, is being asked to go in and see a brand new baby just after. Like, there is nothing like that visit. And so I'd really consider it. If you aren't doing it, this is a big changer in just your heart space too. We also have our Kids Month. So every July is Kids Month. We do it in July because kids are home. So it's a good time to get them under care, get started, because they are more flexible at that time. Every person in our community that is a child that wants to start under care is free. Now, free for us is we never give away free adjustments. It's too important. That's just us. But we're happy to do an assessment and have no charge with that. Normally, that's $140. So that's just for us. We also have an awesome coloring contest that we do and just fill our whole space with pictures. Some years we'll give them a scoop of ice cream. Some years I just like go to Costco and grab like snacks, and we have a bowl and they pick something. And then we'll pick, our staff make like this big beach basket full of like $50 worth of like dollar store stuff. It's super simple. But the excitement about these ridiculous little things is massive, and the kids are so pumped to color and change your walls. Again, it's not complicated. We used to do, let's do extra talks, and let's go do a million things on social media. Like, I've done all of that, but it just didn't serve us. And then this is actually fun, and it fills us up. One of the things that we did to be a family practice is we built a chiropractic table. So when we first took over our practice, it was like mostly seniors, which is great. Like, they've been under care forever, but they didn't even know you could see kids. So we made a table. My dad is a fencer, so he built the box. We painted it. I had a friend paint it. This is my nephew. He's now like, 13 now, which is just so crazy, or 12. And that's our old space, so you can see how different it looks. And then this would be most recent. So we still have this table 11 years later. It cost us $300, like nothing. And thankfully, I didn't have to worry about painting it because I don't have that skill, but maybe you have someone that can do that. This little window, the amount of kids I adjust in this little window, and they just love it. They just perch up. We have a groundhog, that some kids call it a beaver, that's fine, and it just like rummages around in the area here, and so they watch this groundhog while I adjust them, but it's so great and fun, and it's a simple thing to add to your practice. If you aren't seeing kids and you want to see more kids, just put in a table because it makes people ask questions. So the other thing we do, even though we might not have the time, we're going to do it anyways, we show up to their events. So if they're having a stag and doe, I always buy tickets. If I can go, I will go. If we're getting invited to a shower, we're going to go. We're going to make it work, or we'll send a gift. If it's a wedding, we will absolutely make it happen. Their anniversary parties, we're going to be there. Sporting events. If some kid asks me to come to their hockey game, you better believe I'm going to that hockey game. Even if it's only for like 15 minutes and I have to bring my family, I'm going, right? It's too important. Sponsor their teams. It means like so much. And a lot of the time it's like a couple $100. Like, it's not that much. Their business open houses. So if they open a business, go support them. And I can't believe how many funerals we have been to. It's really sad. We've lost a lot of incredible people. But for example, was it this last year or the last? Yeah, it was last year. Tom showed up to a funeral for a Mennonite man who'd been in our practice for a long time, obviously in the community his whole life. And there was another gentleman watching my husband go and talk to every single person and say, I'm sorry for your loss. He was an incredible man. Thank you so much. And he was like, that was the best marketing I've ever seen. He's like, I've been in marketing my whole life. Tom didn't go to market. That wasn't the purpose, right? Just showing your heart and being there for people changes perception of chiropractic. It's like, you're a chiropractor? And Tom had the opportunity to talk to him about chiropractic because he went to a funeral. That wasn't the intention, but like that's how God opens things up for you, right? So unfortunately, I feel like I'm cruising the funeral home obituaries too much. But you don't want to miss anyone because it's heartbreaking if someone passes and you don't know. Thankfully, in a small town, word gets around fast. That's only happened a couple times that we missed someone and we wanted to be there. But show up. It's really important. So the other thing that I think is important is tracking your numbers. Because we can make up stories about like what's actually happening in our practice. And we've had many conversations, my husband and I, where you think something is happening and it's not. Or you think it's worse than it is and it's not. It's actually really, really good, but you're just not actually paying attention to the facts. So if we focus on facts, we can't make up stories. So what are your goals? And how do you know if you're even going to reach it? For us, like I said, it's about impact. Practice density is super important. So that's our goal, 1,400 in 2 months. That's what we want to see, 1,400 individual people right now. Now it's funny, because our goal at 5 years of practice, we're like, when we first started, if we could see 500, it's amazing. And then all of a sudden you have to like swap those goals, and you think that's your whole lifetime. It's going to take my lifetime to get there, and it doesn't. And that just keeps happening. Every couple of years, it's like starting over in a new whole set of goals, but for right now, that's our focus. And we're getting pretty darn close. Those are our numbers. It's really exciting. Like, hopefully by the end of the year, maybe early next year, we'll be exactly where we thought we would be when we retire. So that's pretty incredible. But you only know that if you're actually following it. I do have to say, we've had some incredible mentors. Dr. Ryan French, he's also in Canada. He's been so helpful. When we got out of practice, we also worked with Life by Design at the time. I love them. We're not with them anymore. But they helped us learn how to run a business. And I know a lot of people get nervous about talking about like the service hand and the business hand, and they should never come together. But I think if you don't have a good business, you don't have good service, right? Like you have to be able to show up and have a business that's actually there to help people. So we can't be afraid of talking about business. I'm going too far. So for us, we have what we call our war room, which is kind of a crazy name, but that's okay. Our perfect practice plan or whatever. And so we do this every November. Usually this year we're going to do December because November is just crazy. Tom and I go away for the weekend, and we run through everything about our practice. So what I mean by that is we have this crazy spreadsheet. We go through all this, like who are you? What's your vision? Who's on your team? Do a SWOT analysis. What are the messes in your practice right now that you need to fix? What are some systems that you realize are not working the way that you want? And we're very systematized, you will see. Who are some of the vendors? What are some of your rules? Like, what are your for sure rules? We have some very set hiring rules about who we will hire and who we will not hire because we've been burned and we don't want to do that. Cost cutting, marketing, we don't do a lot of that, but our internal marketing, and then what are some initiatives of how do you want to keep this business going? So we do this for our professional corporation, which is our chiropractic office. We also have a holdco, so we do it for that, and we also do it for our family, because we run our family like a business, right? We have goals for our kids. I have things that I want to accomplish in a year. I have activities I want to make sure happen. We also have 2 rental properties, so there's things that we want to do. We just moved in to a new house in April, so we have a lot of different projects that we want to have. And it's easy to get overwhelmed by it, but if you have a set goal, it's pretty easy to follow. We also have our yearly calendar. A lot of people talk about doing it. Just do it. It's on your wall. Then you know. So this would be, for example, for our business, I didn't put in finances because it doesn't matter. And I don't want to ever put things up because I don't want to be a measuring stick because it's lame. It doesn't matter. What I'm making, you're making, it doesn't matter. but just have it for yourself. So messes, these are things, these are our problems, this is what we got to fix. Those are the systems we need to make better. This is for 2025. And then every single quarter, we have another meeting. It might only be an hour, but we go through it. What were the wins? What was awesome about last quarter? What was super difficult? What are the messes? What are the systems? So for us, we wanted to work on that results night. Like, we can do better. We know we can do better. And update our new patient paperwork, our initiatives. So those are things that we focus on. So you can see, like, this used to be 40 things that we thought we could get done in a quarter. We're getting smarter, realizing that less sometimes is more. And then we have our own personal goals. So we do this every single quarter, and I would advise you do the same. So also tracking weekly. This is my job. I do more business stuff. My husband does a little bit more of practice management, like dealing with patients. But stuff that I think you should track. So what are your collections? How many new patients? How many people came to your day 2 and started under care? How many people, because for us, after a year of care, every single year for the rest of their life, we will do another reassessment. It's a great check-in point. We also have to do it in Ontario. Not everyone has that, but we do. And I follow the rules because they're watching me. So we do all of those things. Sorry, I'm going too far again. So the annual report and how many people continue under care, that's a really important number to us because, again, we want to know people are staying with us, not just starting and leaving. How many are inactive? How many restarted? And how many adjustments? And then for a monthly, again. So do you know, like, how much does it actually cost you to do an adjustment? Do you know your expenses per adjustment? Not that you need to let it, like, drive you, but you should know, because then at least you know every time you are letting someone start under care and not paying, what is this costing you? And you know you're in alignment that way. So important stuff there. We have a scholarship policy. So like I said, for every single patient, we believe you came into our office because God sent you. That's us. So if you show up, I don't know how I'm supposed to serve you. Maybe it's to get you under care. Maybe it's because I need to refer you somewhere. Maybe it's because I need to give you a kick in the butt. I don't know. But we're just going to do what we're supposed to be doing, and we serve them the best that we can. Not everyone can afford it. Like, we're really reasonable. We know that. We feel good about our prices. But we charge fair. But there's still some people that can't start. Like, how many single moms do we have in our practice? Or, stay-at-home moms. He's working. She's at home with the kids. She doesn't have any wages. She wants to get her kids under care, but she can't if she has to pay for it. So those are the people that we're here to help. And the cool thing is having an actual agreement with them, you never feel out of alignment, ever. Because like, for some people, a woman last week brought in a book for the kids that she found because she just wanted to give something. We have people, there's this one woman, Judy Martin, she is so sweet, but she, like, cuts flowers out of her garden and brings them every week in a vase for our front desk. She can't afford care. But that's what she can give, and, like, that fills my heart, and I'm like, oh, I wish. Or, it feels good because we have that fair agreement. So, but we like to have it in paper form so that it is honest. Anyone that says that they can't afford, and we show them this, and they can't do it, we know it's not about money. You didn't want it, and that's okay. Like, doors open, we'll see you later when you're ready, but this just keeps everyone honest. Okay, so the other thing, you got to train. You got to have, like, an incredible staff to support your mission. Because those same people that come onto your team when you were seeing, 50, 100 people a week, might not be the same people you see at 5, 6, 700 a week, right? Unless they come with you and you train with them. So what do we do? Before every single shift, and my husband does most of this, I will not lie. He does an incredible job. Every single person, we print out our day sheet, we pray over every single person. We see where they are in their plan, you click through the software, we look at their accounts, just make sure everything's good. Are they due for testing? In Canada, again, we have to have we have to do testing after a certain amount of visits, so we make sure we're in line. Is there any important dates, birthdays, anniversaries, things coming up, so that when they come in, we are ready. Right? You're not like, I wonder, that never happens because you already knew. And then we do this as a team before each shift. So sometimes this is twice a day, once a day, it just depends. We also, as a team, train weekly. So every single week on Thursday at 1:30, every single person on our staff goes through their wins. Like, what was amazing this week? And what was the challenge? And how can we kind of troubleshoot that together as a team? Any upcoming stuff? And then every single week, we have specific training on something in the office. So this is currently our schedule. So just this week, doing some troubleshooting about our software. And that just keeps everyone trained up. And the thing is that you think, like, you can't forget this stuff, right? Like, oh, we know how to do it day one. And then all of a sudden, if you don't train on it, like at least once, twice a year, you do forget all those little nuances that are super important. You don't ask that one question. That actually could have been the change for them. So we want to make sure that we're training together. Also, because you can see we're very systematized, every quarter we do quarterly reviews with every single person on our team. So that is an opportunity for Tom and I to sit down with each staff member and go over this sheet. So just talking a little bit of self-reflection. They have set up some initiatives for themselves, and then also just genius ideas. Because sometimes, like, your staff just know, right? Like, especially if they've been with you for a long time, they see holes, but sometimes just giving them the opportunity to write it down, they've come up with some really great ideas that we wouldn't have seen because we're in the back. They're dealing with everything out there. So it's just a great opportunity to sit down and do that with them. So for us also, training means we go to Pure and Powerful twice a year. I think I missed one because I was very pregnant. I think it was just had Dylan. That was the one. We bring our team. We also bring any students that want to come with us because it's important to do that. We also come down here to D 2 to 3 times a year. I can't lie and say that we can come to all 4. It just doesn't always work for us. But we really try to be in Sarasota, or I guess Clearwater, in April. Tom and I like to come in the summer together, and then also in October with our family. And then also, Tom and I train. Like, we are still taking tons of seminars. We're still doing lots of research for ourselves. We're always training because, like I said, we want to get better. The other thing we have is a procedure manual, and it's intense. I get that. But everything in it, someone could walk into my office tomorrow and know exactly how to run every single thing because of this. And so that just makes us run very, very efficiently. We have a system for absolutely everything. And the reason for the system is because I don't want you to have to think about the system. If you know the system, you can be in your heart. Instead of up here being like, what was it I needed to do next? Or things get missed, right? So it's just a great thing to have, a great resource, and I would recommend creating one. And if you need a template, email me. I'm happy. Like, everything I have, you can have all of it. I don't need it. I don't care. It's not just for me. It's to help any way I can. I'm realizing how crazy this all looks. But these are our checklists for new staff. So, like, this is everything you have to do when you open. This is everything you have to do when you close. So our staff know exactly what to do. They don't need this anymore. But when they were first starting, they sure did. They couldn't remember all this stuff. I can't remember all this stuff. So just create those systems for them. And the last thing I would say about this is just you've got to just provide like incredible value. So when patients ask us a question, I create a resource, something that I can use. Because if one person asked it, probably other people have that question. So for one, I made an ultimate birth plan workbook. It goes through everything. If you've never thought about a birth plan, these are all the questions you need to ask. And it's just in a PDF. I have a whole plan for a healthy pregnancy. This is like 30 pages worth of material, things that you can do to help yourself throughout your pregnancy. I also created, because I really do enjoy doing a lot of like motor milestone stuff with kids. So this takes you from birth to walking, well, running really, and every single motor milestone that you need to hit. And if your child is not, what can you do at home to help them? So I don't have to sit there and try to help them, sit in a side sit. I can show them once, give them the resource, they do it at home, and they come back, and my patients as Tom will say, he's like, I know the people that see you all the time because they'll be like, they're crawling, right? Like, it's always these little things that they're always showing up to tell me, like, oh my gosh, they finally hit this milestone and they won't. And for like a new mom, that is big. It's a big, big deal. And this is something I don't have a lot of time to do in the office, but I can give it as a resource for them to have at home. I know I could charge money for this, but that's not the point. And I've had people say, why wouldn't you? It's 50 pages worth of material, pictures, videos, everything. It doesn't matter. It's not about the money. It's about helping people. So toys for brain development. I had someone ask me, I'm like, okay, I can just create a project and send that out. So yeah, it takes time once, but then it's done. So these are all videos of different things we have on our website. So how to create a functional core, brushing exercises. If you see kids and you do primitive reflexes, make a video. Neurodevelopment exercises, functional movement. I have tons of like pregnancy-related ones. This is just on our website. Yes, it takes time up front, but the amount of times that I'm just like, go to the website. And they're like, okay. And then I don't have to keep doing it. But it's still important. Also, so day 3 is when they come back. They've had their first adjustment, but this is their first time in the office, and it's just an adjustment. No assessment, no history, nothing. Just the adjustment, which is an incredible visit, because we're kind of teaching them the systems. We have a calling system that brings them in, right? So they get sent a video series, and then it comes out as a drip. So they get that first one, which is just talking about why you probably will feel worse before you get better, because sometimes people don't feel amazing right after. But they come home and they get that video, and they're like, okay, this is normal. We say it, but sometimes, you say a lot in that visit. So, and then this keeps going for, I think it's 25 videos now, so this runs about 4 months worth of videos that's just sent out automatically. We don't have to do anything. And I'm always shocked at the open rates on these. Like, tons of people open this stuff, and they don't tell you that they're looking at it, but they are so grateful for it. We have a lot of people in our office. We eat gluten-free, dairy-free. People are always asking for recipes. So I just created a recipe book. And now here's a whole bunch of recipes. There's lots of things that you can do. And so when people have questions, just create it. In 2020, when we were shut down, what did we do? We created a podcast. Why not? Because we were like, we need to create community somehow. So we went to 50 local businesses, and we sat them down and we asked them questions about themselves, not one about us till the very end. And we did that for, 6 months, twice a week. The connection we made with other people in our business. And the cool thing is, we had a patient just come in, and they said, we moved to Elmira because we heard your podcast. And then we came here, and we're like, what? That's crazy. But it is a cool opportunity to give back to your community, and then they see you as a leader, right? We stopped doing this. We haven't done a podcast since 2020, 2021, something around there, because it was just getting to be too much. But it's still as a resource, and it's a cool way to give back to your community. So I have to say, I have nothing without being able to practice with my husband, but to lie and pretend that is always easy is a lie. And anyone that has to or gets to work with your spouse, know it's not always perfect, but we got really good at picking our lanes. So at first, we tried to do everything, both of us, and that was a disaster. So we learned kind of where we need to go. So Tom's in the office a little bit more, working with people. I'm in 3 days a week for 3 hours. That gives me the opportunity to still homeschool and do all these other things and run our life. But I love chiropractic. I didn't want to give it up completely. And thankfully, I don't. And my practice keeps growing because of it, which is fabulous. But I do everything behind the scenes. So I run the business. Tom doesn't really do that. He's helped a little bit more. He now takes care of Rogers and Global Payments. Good job. Because I needed a break. I was really sick of sitting on hold with these companies. Knowing when to call in help. So we, at one point, we weren't even sure how we were going to be able to still practice together. So we called on some mentors, and they really helped us figure out our lanes. And now we stick to those. If we need help, we call in help from each other, because we know if we're asking for help, it's because we really need it. And so the other thing we do is we delegate as much as possible. So what can you delegate? Because that was a question I asked myself, what could I get someone else to do? Bookkeeping. We have someone clean our house every 2 weeks, clean our office. We have one of our staff actually comes to our house every Tuesday for 3 hours, and she cooks 4 meals for us that we pick. We bring all the food, recipes, but she cooks for us, and it's in our fridge. So now I just pull out food, warm it up, we're good to go. But then I have really good quality food that fuels our body, and you're not doing takeout, right? So that's something that's really helped. Inventory, I have staff go get stuff for us. Why not? They want to help. IT, oh my gosh, I used to be IT forever. It was awful. I'm so glad I'm not IT anymore because I'm not good at it. But getting that, some childcare, we have a Mennonite woman who comes to our house 2 afternoons a week to help out, which is great. Usually she's with Owen while I'm driving kids everywhere else, but then at least Owen doesn't have to come with us, which is good. And then we do have the kids in one homeschool group on Wednesdays for an hour and a half, and they go to forest school every Thursday. Like, how cool. They go to the forest. Like, this is the best education ever. And they just hang out in trees for 1 day of every single week. So other thing, obviously, there's a lot of moving parts here. How do we organize our life? Every single Sunday, I sit down and go through this month, next month. What do I need to do? Is there any holes? Who needs to be here? Any childcare? All that. Then I also sit down with Tom. We do a quick run through. What do you need to do? Where do you need to be? You can see how my brain runs. There used to be a time where I would have a million things on a to-do list, and I would just feel all. Am I cutting out? Okay. So now I'm really careful about having a week, and then I delegate per day what I'm going to do so that you don't get overwhelmed. Also understanding my own energy cycles, especially for women. You are not the same every single day. We are on a 28-day cycle. So if you feel bad about yourself because you didn't get this much done this week, that's normal. So knowing when are you going to have more energy versus when you may not have as much energy, and that's okay. You're not going to be the same every day. And I used to shame myself so much to be like, oh, I should have got more done this week, but you know what I needed to do is I needed to meditate and sleep more, and that's fine. So knowing yourself and knowing where you are in those cycles can make such a big difference in how you feel about yourself and how you show up. And then just always focusing on what is our priorities, because it's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else says that you should be doing. And then you are living someone else's life, and you wake up and wonder, who the heck am I? So just focusing on what is important to you and sticking with that. The other thing I would say is getting involved. So by no means do I think I am super qualified to be the president of a regulatory body. Who am I? I don't have any special skills. I've never sat, you saw I sat on one board, the Maple Syrup Festival board. Yeah, that really gave me everything I needed to know. I learned what emotion was. That was about it. So you don't have to have any special skills to actually make a huge impact in how our profession runs. So these are some pictures. I got to sit on the FCC board. Never do I want to do that ever again. Peter knows it. It is awful. But to sit on the Federation of Canadian Chiropractors and talk to all of the regulators across the country and make a change in how things are happening or to stop things. The reason I got on the board originally was because I was afraid they were going to take away pediatric chiropractic because of what was happening in Australia. I'm like, that can't happen here. How are my kids going to get checked? So you step up, you do what you got to do. It is not always easy. I've sat at many tables where you are ready to just get burned. It is not fun, but you show up authentically, you show your heart, and somehow you make changes. And it has happened. When I first got on the board, it was bad. It was really, really bad. And to see how far we have come in those 6 years and the changes we have been able to make is amazing. They had me as a facilitator for strategic planning. Again, this is all crazy, but it's just showing up, keep doing it, do the work, and God will literally open the path for you if you just do that. Because this isn't, again, no special skills. I did take a parliamentarian course. That's on my CV, lucky me, but anyone can do that. So I just have to say I have so much gratitude to you, Tom, for always showing up for me, and my beautiful family. Thank you so much to Dee here for having me today. I never really thought this would be in my future, so it's pretty amazing. And thank you, everyone, for all of your love and attention. If you have any questions, there's my email, there's my phone. If you want any resources, just ask. I'm happy to send it. So thank you so much.